This is a love story crackling with forbidden energy, fighting against the supposed heat death of the universe. Two graduate student scientists working in the laboratory of the physics department at American Midwest Control University fell in love the usual way, by getting to know each other at work. What makes their love story unusual, and perhaps transcendent, is that their Hollywood rom-com style meet-cute introduction didn't take place in a typical location, such as over coffee in the grad student's break room, but rather occurred inside the whirling mists of the subatomic universe, which they entered through a portal generated by their cyclotron and other physics lab equipment after a terrible disaster and equipment malfunction. While working on their dissertations, Jackson Cheshire Margin and Josephine Iagostrasse specialized in the energy pathways of turbulent hyperdimensional space models, using laboratory equipment to measure the effects of entropy in expanding systems, such as our universe. Of particular interest was their inquiry about the role intelligence plays in ameliorating the supposed heat death of the universe during an experiment designed to look into the structural underpinnings of entropy. Sponsored by a Department of Defense subcontractor, Jackson and Josephine started up the physics lab equipment from remote, using laptops in their offices. They had no idea that before the day would end, their hearts would start intertwining. After the machinery in the physics lab had been running for about 7 hours, it signaled the grad students with text message alerts that it was ready to pierce the subatomic realm. Jackson and Josephine barely knew each other when they were assigned to work in the lab, and had never met in person, always toiling in their own offices with their schedules seldom overlapping until now. They put in 20 hours per week in the lab in exchange for a stipend that covered their basic living expenses. This arrangement allowed them about 20 hours per week to work on their own dissertations. Because the grad students conducted their technical work in separate offices, they had only met each other during a virtual onboarding meeting held by video conference call. As the experiment commenced, Josephine and Jackson focused their attention on the computer monitors, observing fluctuating entropy levels. A terrible storm had been brewing that day, and about 25 minutes into the experiment, lightning hit the roof of the physics laboratory. The surge of electricity poured into the experimental equipment, overwhelming its circuitry. Suddenly, Josephine and Jackson were swept into the subatomic universe, shrinking to slip past molecules and into the base level of all reality. Unable to communicate in words, they instinctively extended their arms and started holding hands as they floated through the quantum realm. Eventually, they did find themselves able to communicate, and the grad students stayed there for about 41 hours, unable to return to their normal, full-sized reality, until the system automatically cycled through the experimental protocols. The cyclotron and other devices rebooted, and soon the lovebirds emerged back into the physics lab. Being inside the subatomic realm for 41 hours was the equivalent of spending 3 years together in normal Earth time, during which they began falling in love. Josephine and Jackson got married the next day. It's not surprising that after undergoing such a weird and transformative experience, the duo resigned from the physics department. They wanted to have nothing to do with the subatomic research in the laboratory ever again. With venture capitalist seed money from some sympathetic tech entrepreneurs, Josephine and Jackson recently founded a non-profit organization called Against Entropy. The goal of Against Entropy is to redefine the laws of physics to include human intelligence as an essential part of the calculations we use to describe the movement of energy throughout the universe. The concept is, a thinking entity can harness energy more effectively than if all movements of the space-time continuum occurred just inside a cold, unfeeling universe. With ordinary consciousness guiding thermodynamics, humans should be able to store energy and move it to where power will be the most useful, rather than allowing electrons to dissipate into an ever-expanding cosmos and cause the heat death of the universe, which is the wrong-headed assertion of the entropy propagandists. Are you for or against entropy? Let us know in the comments section. If you enjoyed this report, consider sharing it with like-minded friends and hitting the like button so YouTube will share it with more people. Subscribe to Nice Planet to make sure you see each new video. Thanks for watching.